that aside, there's also another big superstar that has been, well, a big French superstar that has been rumored to be leaving his team. That is Julian Alaphilippe leaving Soudal Quickstep potentially. And I mean, Patrick Lefebvre has been a big critic of him of late. And do you think where should Julian Philippe be going as well, if we're honest?
Well, every single pro cycling manager career dictates that he will go to Arkea Samsic. For some reason, whenever I seem to watch a PCM video, Alaphilippe's always with Arkea. So, if that's anything to go by, he'll end up at Arkea, which honestly, it wouldn't even be a bad move, but it would surprise me if he went to a team which wasn't a French team, to be honest with you. Whichever one that happens to be, whether it be World Tour or Pro-Conti team, or arguably Groupama doesn't work. They've already got so much talent. Where does Alaphilippe fit into that? Or are they just
He's
like so French that they're like, we need him?
He
well,
shouldn't be taking up Romain Gregoire's
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
points. Like, come on, that's his place right now.
Would he work in as a dessert? Would he
yeah,
work
that's
there?
yeah. I was going to say that because a few
Because
years ago,
Cosnefroid's washed.
when Citroën became part of that sponsorship, that was obviously a lot more money. They signed Greg Van Avermaet. We're going to talk about him a bit later, but he's retiring, so that's a huge chunk of their wage budget that could potentially be freed up here.
Yeah, I mean, he would fit in. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They're kind of in need of a classic star. They have the Norman superhero Bernard Cosnefroid, but he's so hot or cold. Linking him up with Alaphilippe, we saw how well that worked at the World Championships over the past couple of years. That could be quite a good double act. In the hills, also with Dorian Gordon, these other guys, it could work pretty well. You mentioned French teams that have a retiring rider. I know lots of people are favorable towards Total as the new home of Julian Alaphilippe. They are, of course, losing the Sagan Mafia, the Sagan Troupe, the Sagan Ensemble, the Sagan Circus, etc., etc. Sagan's the only one who's explicitly said he's retiring at the end of the season, but that will free up a lot of contract space. Specialized already work with Soudal. Specialized currently work with Total, at least until the end of the season. In terms of sponsorship deals, that'll be quite a neat one where he might not have to sign new contracts or whatever. It's a French team with a lot of pedigree. He'd still get into most of the French races.
It works quite well, doesn't it? The
It
stars
does.
kind of align there. I can imagine, going back to the Sagan thing, I can imagine him, Bodnar, and Os just forming like the Legion of LA, but it's gravel racing. And they just go around just like smashing every gravel race there's just ever been in like America. But I do think that would work quite well at Total. I think arguably that does make the most sense. I know that it's kind of like the Pro-Conti team, but maybe he's all right with that, where it's kind of a bit more select. He still gets into the World Championships. It's just a little bit kind of like less chaotic in terms of like high profile races, but he'll still go into like the big ones. It's just that he doesn't need to go and do little like stage races and stuff all the time. He can just do his tune-up races in the French Cup, Coupe de France.
Yes, because does he really go to races like Tour of Poland and so forth nowadays? I
Not
don't really
really, but that's just because
like
he's not very good.
oof. And Tour of Poland is a high
Ouch!
quality race.
Shade thrown
Sketchy.
on Alaphilippe here.
He hasn't been good since 2021.
He
Last
took
year
a
was a
race this
write-off, to be
year.
fair. But he hasn't come back, which is what's making me scared.
He won Ardèche Classic. Come on.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's a big race. It's a big race. More victories? No. I'm not gonna sidetrack this by gaslighting someone else. Never. Israel Premier Tech. Okay, sorry. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't do it. Nevertheless. Um, yeah, I mean, Alaphilippe, I think he would really suit Total. But I've had this theory for a while that Asgreen will go with him. They're really good friends. They both have a contract up. Lefebvre hasn't been nice about both of them. Asgreen's been underperforming over the past 2 years. I think they both fit into Total.
But yeah, there could be a package deal. I guess just as a little
Buy one,
like
get one
side.
free.
Yeah, or at least half price. Like going to Waterstones, getting a book.
They can make it
Um,
like a happy meal, and they get
yeah.
Brian Alaphilippe, Julian's brother, and he comes along with them, and they can bolster up their rosters because
Or
they spend so much money on them.
get a burger dough free.
But I mean, what rider has gone there who was a big star and actually achieved anything? Edvard Boasson disappeared. Nicky
Bro,
Terpstra
he was
disappeared.
disappearing.
Yeah, but
He's
Sagan disappeared
gone.
as well. It's not like you go there to have, it's like a retirement home. You go there for your last paycheck almost.
Yeah, when you
Hello,
do
Pierre
gravel
Latour.
races.
Yeah, but he wasn't a big star when he went there. Let's be honest.
He's
He won a white jersey at the
Oh
Tour de
wow!
France.
Oh, white jersey. Oh
French
wow!
time trial champion.
Do you remember that white jersey classification?
I do.
Not
I
even,
remember it
he was not
vividly.
even in the top. What was it? 15. It was such a poor white jersey competition that year.
Please. Please.
Let's find out. I'll find out. Don't worry.
He
have
won a
some
Vuelta
respect.
stage as well in 2016. A hard fought Vuelta stage. Don't come for Mr. Rock Tower, Pierre Latour.
Yeah. Can we have some respect on Valentin Ferron, please? He won Paris Camembert and he won a
That's
stage
so
of the
real,
Dauphiné
yes.
last year.
Côte de la Fosse Loon, stage one of the 2021 Tour de France. Who was there lighting things up? Rock Tower, Pierre Latour. And Alaphilippe, I feel like could join that squad quite well. Maybe it'll spice up his Palmares a little bit. But elsewhere, yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Even like in terms of the
Wow.
regionalism, because a lot of these French teams are quite regionalist. He doesn't fit into any of them because he's from like the middle of the country. So it's he's open. It's hunting season.
A little side note is that if they do the buy one get one free Asgreen and Alaphilippe or whatever, right? That's quite a lot of wage, which is probably taken off of Quickstep's books, right? Which are they just going to fill that with we'll pay Remco more money to keep him around, or are they going to try bring in somebody else? Because that'll be a lot of money to put into like a high profile rider. Would they? I don't know. It's hard to say because they've already got so many. They've got Malia and Jakobsen, so they get a Grand Tour each, and then you got Remco will probably go to the Tour for the rest of his life. And do they bring in just better lead out men? That's where they spend the money. Just more lead out men. We need more for Malia, more for Jakobsen.
But then there's the quick step effect where riders don't stay there very long in terms of sprinters. I reckon Molia's got one more season there and he hops off elsewhere.
Also, we need to get Olav Koy now in preparation and
Well,
have three world-class sprinters. This is the true 200 IQ play from Quickstep. Just bring them all in and you can't lose.
It'll be like that time in Roubaix when like the three Mapei riders, that was Quickstep. The three Mapei riders came into the velodrome like arm in arm. They can just do that, but like it's Melia, Jakobsen, Koy, all like winning every Tour de France stage with all of them at the front.
I reckon Quickstep's long-term plan is to get Philipsen. They're on the slow burn Riz at the moment, trying to like get him in. I reckon they want Philipsen because they're literally Patrick Lefevre is deploying the Riz on Jasper Philipsen, and he's buying him his frites and curry ketchup to try and sway him over.
Based.
And because literally he's the Belgian sprinter. He is the Belgian sprinter. I know there's Wout van Aert, but like they'll be like Lefevre wants every good Belgian talent, and he's like, we're getting Philipsen, and we'll get Wout van Aert one day. That's his main plan.
Like the fireworks that would happen between Wout and Patrick Lefevre would be disgusting. There would be awful comments and headlines written about both of them.